Hey there, welcome. Christine Weber here. I love to support mature yoga teachers as they get their wisdom out there to the world. So, today I want to talk a little bit about breathing in yoga poses because I think a lot of yoga teachers learn that there is one way to breathe, and the way to breathe is with your belly. So you often hear this, like, it's even called yogic breathing. I've even heard belly breath called yogic breathing many, many times. And the Western people are so good at reductionism. Like, we're so good at reducing teachings down to some, like, memorable gems, and it's problematic largely because it it's just not accurate. There are many different ways of breathing in yoga that have many different applications. And when you understand how to breathe in your asanas for a specific purpose, you can have an effect that's much different than another way of breathing, right? Now, to unpack this requires a significant amount of time and training. I can't do it here in a 5-minute video, but I want to give you just a little tip, a little insight, because once you peek behind the curtain and see, like, oh my gosh, it's so different than belly breathing, then it really kind of sparks your interest. And there's a couple things you can do. You can explore it, of course, intuitively. Fantastic. You should do that. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel because this knowledge is available. It's out there. It's stuff that I teach. Those of you who study with me regularly know that I go deep into this in my teachings in the Subtle Yoga Resilience Society, which is a really easy way for you to study with me regularly. It's on Wednesday mornings, Eastern time at 9:30 a.m. We record everything. There's more than 220 videos in our library. I mean, it's just a very extensive and comprehensive way of going deep into these practices. So for our purposes right now, and you can get on the wait list. Just email Stacy and she'll put you on the wait list, support@subtleyoga.com. Okay, so for our purposes right now, I want to show you something. What you'll often see, forget about belly breathing or whatever, but what you often see in yoga is inhale, arms up, exhale, arms down, right? That's super common. You see it all the time. Inhale, arms up, exhale, prayer, or whatever. It makes sense because when your arms go up, you're extending the spine, you're lifting the rib cage up out of the hips. It makes sense to breathe in. It just sort of accentuates that extension of the thoracic part of the spine. Makes perfect sense. But you could do something different. What if you, and try this with me, what if you take breath in and then exhale your arms up and inhale your arms down? And try that again. Exhale your arms up. Now, I'm not working so much musculoskeletally. I'm working with energy there. There's a different energetic shift that happens. There's an energetic effect that happens by exhaling my arms up and inhaling them back down. That's quite different than the energy of inhale the arms up and exhale the arms down. But part of the reason we get hyper focused on inhale arms up, exhale arms down, or exhale forward bend, or whatever, exhale twist, all that stuff that we do, we get hyper focused on it is because yoga in the West tends to be primarily a musculoskeletal activity, right? So we're not looking at some of the other ways we could be using asanas. Asanas can be used musculoskeletally. I would say 98% of what you get in America, and perhaps in the West, but definitely in America, is musculoskeletal. It's like, let's stretch our quads, let's stretch our hamstrings. You do a forward bend to stretch your hamstrings, all that, right? But what if we were using the poses physiologically? That would be different. What if I was trying to do a forward bend in order to massage my abdominal organ? That was my focus or my purpose. That would be very different than doing a forward bend to stretch my hamstrings, right? It's a very different orientation and thinking. So we can have musculoskeletal, we can have physiologic, nervous system, of course, that all the stuff intersects, but we can focus more on the nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, which is going to require a very specific way of breathing to make a specific effect. We could be focusing on, for example, the heart and the baroreception in the system. Like there's so many different things you might be focusing on with your practice above and beyond the musculoskeletal. And that particularly requires a deep understanding, a broad and deep understanding of how to apply the breath. And the reason is because the breath is the catalyst, right? You take an asana and you put a particular breathing pattern on top of it, and you catalyze the asana, and it has a much deeper effect than simply doing an asana with like inhale arms up, exhale arms down, which is mostly what you get out there, right? So understanding that there's that there's several different ways to use asana, and then it could be endocrine focused. Even we didn't get to there. Then there's several different way organ focused. Then there's several different ways you could use. You can use the breath on top of the asana, and when you understand those combinations, which takes a while, I mean, I've been studying this stuff for years, it takes a while. But there are some basic principles to understand. You get the asana, you get the breath, and then you have an effect. And that effect can be so much deeper than stretching hamstrings. Nothing wrong with stretching your hamstrings, but it's one little tiny piece in this whole universe of what's possible with asana. So another idea is, let's just take, like, I'm just gonna do a little triangle. Usually you'll hear like exhale triangle and inhale up, right? But what if you inhale and triangle and exhale back up? Try that. It feels really different, and it serves a different functional purpose that may then be applied to specific therapeutic or salutogenic, like health promoting kind of purposes. It could be applied in different ways depending on what your goal is. So yoga is goal focused, always has been. Of course, the ultimate goal is that of yoga is union, but the goals along the way, we are allowed to define them, and they don't have to be strictly fitness or musculoskeletally focused. Let me know what you think about this. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Also, let me know what other topics you'd like me to talk about in my weekly live streams. And if you want to go deeper, if you want to study with me, we have a very easy and a quick, fast way for you to do that. We're opening up the Resilience Society in June. It's called the Subtle Yoga Resilience Society. It will be open towards the end of June. I'd love you to join us. We only open it up twice a year. And it's a way that you can really plunge deeply into these teachings and learn something about yoga that can help you to build resilience, that can help you to build health, that can help you address specific health challenges, and that can help you to feel a deeper sense of meaning and purpose and a clearer sense of identity. That's what my teachings are all about, and I would love you to join me. Thank you so much for being here. Please leave a comment. I'll see you next week. Take care.